Hi, my name is Marcus. I'm the Children's Coordinator here at St John's in Hildenborough, and I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about how I became a Christian. Well, I was born and raised in a Christian family. My dad was a vicar, so I grew up from an early age hearing the Bible stories about Jesus, about the sort of things that he did, and my mum and dad would pray with me. But it was only till I was about 8 that I went to Spring Harvest, a Christian family conference, with my mum and dad, my two brothers, that I was really impacted by the children's work there, led by a guy called Ishmael, who explained the gospel, explained what Jesus had done for everybody. And I started to think, I need to do something about what I've heard. If Jesus is who he said he was, and if he had made it possible for me to be forgiven for my sins and to know God as my friend, then I realised I wanted to do something about it. So I remember going home and praying with my dad and asking Jesus to come into my life, to forgive me from my sins and to give me new life. And so I decided to follow Jesus and made a commitment at the age of 8. At the time, a year or so later, I started to have epilepsy. I had fits, and I'd have 3 to 4 fits a day. And I went to lots of people with my mum and dad who had healing ministries, receiving prayer because they believe that God is a God who heals. And it was a short while later, maybe a year or two, that I had a really bad seizure and had to go into hospital and be injected with Valium. Anyway, I came out of hospital and I slept for a whole day. And while I was asleep, I had a dream of Jesus dying on the cross, and then Jesus coming out of the tomb, rising from the dead. And I told my mum about this, and she sensed that God was saying that he was going to heal me, that we'd seen the death, as it were, the sickness, and that he wanted to show us the healing, the resurrection, his power. And a couple of weeks later, I was prayed for in church as normal again. And the woman who was praying for me just started to weep. She said she felt God's compassion and love for me for what I'd been through. And she also sensed that God had healed me completely. And my mum was a bit more kind of practical. She said, "Well, if God has healed Marcus, we'll see very soon," because I had up to 3 to 4 fits a day. But from that moment on, I never had another seizure in my life. And I knew that something had happened, that God had healed me and had done it miraculously. Doctors couldn't understand it, and they refused to believe that it was God, but we knew that something real had happened, something undeniable. As the years went by, I continued to follow Jesus. I went through my ups and downs. I had sickness again when I was 17, kidney failure. We prayed again for a complete healing, and this time God's provided healing through a perfectly matched kidney from my brother Matthew. I had a transplant operation, and I've been well ever since. And I think what I'd really encourage anyone who's listening to take away from this is that God can do impossible things. If you are in a difficult situation, maybe you need healing, can I encourage you to pray and to get other people to pray for you, because God is a God who does the impossible. Nothing is too hard for him. Where am I now? Well, I'm in full-time work, ministering to children. God has given me something, a purpose for my life that has brought me much joy. And I really love what I do, and I can't imagine anything else I'd rather be doing, helping children to know the same Jesus that I came to know at the age of 8.